Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to look at gold and silver, do some technical analysis. If this interests you, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to jump right into it. Again, this is not financial advice by any means, it's only financial education. And let's look at the charts. So here we go. First, I start with the 10-year yield. And the reason I start with 10-year yields is this is what basically prices everything in the market. It prices gold and silver, it prices stocks, it prices a whole bunch of things, and it also is the start of a rotation of money into other assets. And the rates have come down a little bit on the near term. It is providing relief for stocks, and it's providing a headwind because money's not going to necessarily seek hard assets as gratefully as it would if we had a little bit of interest rate pressure on growth stocks. And then you'd see that rotation from growth stocks into commodities. Here's the dollar. The dollar is kind of right at it's almost wanting to break out here. Let's watch this thing and see if we come back down or if we break higher. If we break higher, I think we're going to see a longer pullback in gold and silver. And I think we're going to see a longer pullback in commodities in general. But this is what the short-term chart looks like. We did break out of this this downtrend. We're kind of basing sideways here, and we could break to the upside very shortly. What I'm seeing in the real estate market is a strong real estate market, which usually is a headwind for the dollar. Usually we're going to see dollar going down, and that's what inflation is more dollars chasing fewer goods. So I think eventually we're going to see the dollar go down. But in the short term, it has remained pretty resilient. So gold is mimicking what we're seeing in rates and the dollar, and we're coming down under some pressure in August. In August is that time frame, June, July. Well, that's from the year ago. August here is about this time frame when we've gone sideways in the dollar of 2020. The decline in the dollar from March to August was a pretty steep decline. And what you see here is March to August is a pretty big move in gold. So we're going to have to see that dollar rotate down for gold and silver, I think, to rotate higher. But right now, this is where we're at. We're right at the trend line here. We could potentially move up or down right now. I mean, that's where we're at. We're at a decision point of this trend line. Is it going to hold or not? We've got silver. Silver's at its trend line as well. Is this going to hold or not? That's the question that we're asking. And that's what we're waiting to see the answer over this next week or two. Platinum's still above its line. Its support line. It's not looking as bad. And there's something I want to go over here, and I know I'm not going over a whole bunch of different individual stocks. This is the gold price and their movements. The beginning of the gold price movement is where these stars are at. So we had a big move here, a big move here, a big move here, and a big move here. I'm going to overlay these stars on the housing starts just to show you guys the alignment. Big move in gold and silver was accompanied by a move in gold and silver. In housing starts higher, gold and silver higher. Housing starts higher, gold and silver higher. Housing starts higher, gold and silver higher. Housing starts higher, gold and silver is just starting to go higher. Looking at those same stars and transposing them on the real interest rate to give you guys kind of a different look and perspective. The real interest rate went from a high point and declined, high point and declined, high point and declined, all the way to 2011 out here. And then we're coming from a high point and declining. So that's when gold and silver does well, is when the real interest rate is becoming more negative or going downward. GDX, looking at this from a short-term perspective, we do have a bullish engulfing. We have two small sell-off days where the sellers are not blowing this thing lower. I think this is still in a we'll call it in progress of turning around, ready to possibly move higher. It looks like this head and shoulder pattern's kind of complete. We're kind of almost down where there's a lot of support. bullish engulfing pattern with 2 little down days. Hopefully the buyers can turn it around here. See the same thing in SILJ, big nice up day and 2 little small down days next to it. This is the trait I look for in bottoming patterns. I'd like to see a big up day on Monday or beginning of next week, or another small little down day next to it. So small down days or the big up day to show you that the buyers are here. Just to give you a little bit perspective on a couple of companies I like, Teuton Resources, we're coming all the way back, and I think we're going to hit this big old trend line. I like it down here. If it hits that trend line, I like it where it's at even right now. Same with EMX, another one that's coming back to touch its trend line. If these guys hold and the dollar starts to get weaker, we see dollar weakness here right in front of us. I think we could see these move on higher. We're right at trend lines. We're kind of back testing this stuff out. And hopefully that's the case. Hopefully we touch these things and move on higher. If you guys like this type of analysis, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.